Hi, welcome. So, in this video, we are going to look at query optimization in SQL. So, you've learned things like joins and subqueries. You've seen that at times you can use subqueries to do what joins do. You've learned things like having, where, and you see that at times having can be used after the group by like a where. So, it might be confusing, but when you think about how to optimize your queries, we'll be able to know there are times when you need to instead try to use more of the where than the having, or to use more of the joins than the subqueries. So in this video, we are going to look at 5 examples of how you can optimize your queries right away. So let's just go straight to the computer and look at 5 examples of how to make your queries more efficient. So here we have this database. In an earlier video called create a database, we already created these databases. So you can always go back and take a look. So in this table, we have this staff demographic with all the staff ID, first name, last name, age, gender. We've seen this in the previous videos already, and the staff salary, the staff ID, job title, and salary. So we're going to write some queries here to just show you inefficient and the efficient way of writing the same query. So in the first case, for example, we say it's good to always try to avoid the select statement with the star. Try to use the select with the specific columns you want. So if you have, for example, an inefficient query would be inefficient query. Example here would be like you intended to get maybe just 3 columns out of this database, for example the staff demographic database, and then you ran this, you took everything, when a more efficient way of doing it would have been, let me just get an efficient query, would have been taking your select, but let me just close this one here, taking your select and then just deciding on the columns you need. So let me just say we needed just first name, and then maybe we needed last name, and probably age. So it's better to take the time to write down these 3 headers you needed. So if we run this now, we get the same results, kind of like we have 3 columns that we really wanted to see, and this had unnecessary columns like this, or this that we didn't want to see. So it's better to be precise on your select statement. So the next tip is to use where instead of having. So we've looked at where and having in previous videos. You can always go back and look at them so that you're on the same page. So now we are saying it is better to use where instead of having. So if, for example, you wanted to get filter out some job titles from the salary table, so let's just say select job title. So I want to select job title and then maybe count. So we want to count the job title, and then we want to do it from the staff salary table. We've already seen these tables before. So staff salary table, and then we want to do a group by. So we do a group by job title. Then we do now a having here, job title equal to, or let's just say we want to take out the human resource, so equal to HR, so not equal to HR here, and job title again not equal to, let's just say manager, for example. Let's just say manager. manager. So here, if we run this here, we get the accountant, one accountant, two analysts, two care reps, two receptionists. So we don't have any manager or HR in the as output. Now this is inefficient using the having, because the having has to fetch, the group by has to first try to group things that were even unnecessary in the first place, only for the having to come and take them out again after that. So a more efficient query would be for you to, let's take this select here. So we select this from staff salary, select. Then what we do now here, we instead go to the where, so not the having. So we instead do that in the where, so it's done early before the group by comes and tries to do the aggregation. We've already filtered out what we want and what we don't want. So, and also job title equal to, we've already filtered out what we want and what we don't want here. So then now the group by can come with a reduced data set, for example. So job title. So here, if we click that, if we run it, we get the same accountant 1, analyst 2, care rep 2, receptionist 2. So that's fine. Let's move on to the third tip, which is try to use more of join instead of subqueries. So you might want to get join data from the staff demographic table and the staff salary table to maybe get let's just say you want to get the male who is age 40. So an inefficient query would be, you do a select, then star from. So I'll just introduce you to another short way of doing your alias. So you it's good to use it when you have multiple tables too. You just say this staff salary should be called S, for example. Then you go down. So now if you want to do a where, yeah, you would say where, because where, now instead of doing staff salary, you just say S dot staff ID now. So it's already recognizing the S here, like this staff salary. So this was an alias in between here. So like staff, where S dot staff salary, then we can say in. Now we open up a query, a subquery. Then we say, let's just start from here. We say our subquery, we just say select staff ID, now from staff demographic, and then we can give it an alias of D here, so that we can say where, now instead of staff demographic we say d.gender equal to male, and d.age equal to 40. So we close this and then we can conclude the statement. So when we run this, we get 109. So the person who is 40 years old, the male who is 40 years old, if we come here, the male who is 40 years old is here. So then there's a female 40 years old. So it does that filtering for us. Now we are saying that a more efficient way of writing this query is to do efficient query So a more efficient way of writing that query, I'll just go up, is to say select. So I could still use the alias here, S, knowing that I'm going to define it below. So I'm going to say s.star. So this is also another way of doing joins too that I'm going to show you here. So it's interesting to see how to do it in another way. So from I'm joining from the from, so from staff salary S, now this is where I declare it. Then I also have staff demographic, then my D here, so I declare them there. So you can do the joins the way we've showing you how to do it in the other tutorials, or you can try to see how to also pick up this one and expand your knowledge. So staff ID equals to D, small d here, D dot staff ID. Then now we say and let me just get this, and d dot gender now equal to male and d dot age equal to 40. So when we run this now, we get the same result. So the next tip now, fourth, is use in when indexing a column. So we saw how to use either in or when you're indexing a column, but let me just say an inefficient query. Inefficient query would be like, you just get select. So you want to just pick a couple of job titles here. So we just say select star from staff salary where job title equal to, let's just take analyst in this case, could be anything, analyst, or you can have so many ors here. Job title equals to care rep, so you can have so many ors, or job title equals to manager here, or receptionist. So you can have so many. If we run that, we will get analyst care rep. But a more efficient way is to use the in, which we showed you in a previous video. So you can always go back and check. The previous videos to see this. So if we do select here and then we paste here, so the next thing we are going to do is just say where, let me get that in caps, where now job title in, that's where we are going to use now the in, and then we get the list. So if I don't want to type this again, I'll just copy here, analyst, paste here, comma, care rep, comma, paste here and close. So if I had more, I'll just comma paste. So now let's run this. Gives you the same result, and you see this is even less strenuous, and also it takes less resources. It's faster to run. And now let's look at the fifth tip, which is use union all instead of using union. So wherever you can, you try to use union all, because union searches first for duplicates, deletes the duplicates, and maintains just the unique values, while union all doesn't first check for duplicates. It just produces out everything as they are. So let's just show you, for example, an inefficient query. Inefficient query would be like select staff ID, then from staff demographic, then we use maybe a union here, select staff ID, from staff salary. So when we run this, we get 101 right up to 109. Then it continues on 112 and 113. So there is no repetition. The numbers are unique, so there's no duplicate. But now if we want to get a more efficient query, we would say, I'll take this. You would say you do this. Now, when you say select from here and you get to the union level, you just change this to union all instead. So union all should be your go-to by default, unless it's very necessary before you use union. So let's run this block here. So here we get 101 right up to 109. Then we get 112, 113, but we still get 101 right up to 110. So it's just following this ones here. 101, 108 here, and it's following this ones here. 110. So the 5 tips are there for you to use, and there are more, but you always want to think of how to optimize your queries all the time. So I hope you have been able to learn how to do query optimization in SQL, especially with these 5 tips that you can start implementing right now. So see you next video. Wish you good data luck.